Hello, welcome to another episode of This, That, and the Other. And last time I was talking about Andy Griffith's love interest on the first season of Andy Griffith, and another thing about Ellie Walker was the fact that the writer had some funny lines for her, and the lines ended up going to Don Knotts because Don Knotts could pull them off better. He could make people laugh with them. And like I was saying before, Andy wanted to be the funny person. He was a comedian, but he ended up being a straight man. Don Knotts was a funny one on the show until Don Knotts left the show, and Andy kept doing the show without him. And it's kind of another story for another time. But when I've been watching Andy Griffith lately on TV Land, and I think I've pretty much seen every episode you can possibly see of that show, especially the black and white episodes, and that's what they're running, the black and white. They're not running the color ones, the ones after Barney, too much. And anyway, on the first episode, starts out with Andy was also the Justice of the Peace, and he's getting ready to marry a couple of people, and then it turns out to be Andy's old housekeeper, Rose Pine, and Opie thought the world of her, and when Andy was mentioning something about any objections to the marriage, Opie piped up and like, I don't want her to marry that man. He didn't want to lose her as a housekeeper because Rose would play baseball with him and go fishing, and Andy finally got Opie to shut up and got the two married. And Andy said his Aunt Bea was coming to take Rose's place. She had also taken care of Andy when he was a little kid. That's where the story went. So anyway, Aunt Bea arrives, and Opie doesn't like her from the very beginning, and she's not interested in baseball or fishing. So later on, Andy tries to teach those things to her, and she catches a fish, and she runs away. She's scared to death of it, and it just things just don't look good. And early in the morning, Opie wakes up, and he looks out the window, and he sees Aunt Bea getting ready to go off on a truck with somebody, and Andy's saying goodbye to her, and then Opie realizes she's leaving, so Opie runs down the stairs and say, "Hey, I don't want Aunt Bea to leave. Who's gonna be around to teach her how to play baseball or how to fish? She's gonna be alone in this world, not knowing how to do anything." And Andy's like, "Are you sure you want her to stay?" And he's like, "Yes, I want her to stay." So she ended up staying, and she was on that show throughout its entire run. As a matter of fact, the spinoff of Andy Griffith on Mayberry RFD that had Ken Berry and his son, and Aunt Bea was also their housekeeper, and I remember Ken Berry saying she's not actually my aunt, but we call her Aunt Bea, and she was still called Aunt Bea on Mayberry RFD, and that's what I was able to find out on that episode. Like I said, I watched it yesterday. I think I've pretty much seen all of the black and white episodes of Andy Griffith's show. And with that being said, I'm looking for more ideas on what to do shows on. I'm out of ideas right now. I'm just kind of anything that pops up, any kind of trivia, any kind of obscure aspects of history that I can find to talk about it, I will. And that's one of those things I decided to talk about this one on Andy Griffith when I happened to watch the show that episode yesterday. And hopefully I'm not going to be doing too many more on Andy Griffith, but I don't know. I might, because I'm like I said, I'm running out of ideas. And that being said, like, subscribe, share. As always, thanks for watching.